So what you want to do is unscrew the 3 screws from the back of the machine to pull the top off. Once those are unscrewed, you push it back, and it should just push right back, and you pop it right off just like that. Next step is to take a Torx bit out and a Phillips screw from the front cover plate. To get the Torx screw out, you have to take the dispenser for liquid out of the top left. Then it's just a matter of popping off the top panel, and make sure you just don't pull too hard because there's a cord that you don't want to rip out. So I just fold it onto the top. Now this door gasket here has a metal spring all the way around it that you've got to pry off, but you want to be careful not to break it because you got to reuse it after. What I like to do is I just take a flathead screwdriver and gently just roll it over, and it'll just pop right out just like this. Now after you get this first one out, you want to just pull this rubber gasket downwards all the way around. It should easily just pop right out. And just make sure it's out of the way, because you got to pull the front panel off. Now to get the front panel off, you've got to take the bottom plate out, which is usually 3 screws. And if you have a multi-screwdriver, you just use a nut driver on it, pop the 3 screws out. You only have 8 minutes left to get them out. And now you've got access to the 4 screws holding in the front panel. Now when you take the front panel off, you have to be careful because it is a little bit heavy and it will drop when you pull the last screw out, so just be careful. So when you take this last one out, just use caution because it'll drop. Now you want to take the door latch out because it's connected by a wire, just to get it out of the way. It's just 2 screws. Just unscrew them and it just falls right out the back, and you can just leave it hanging till you put it back in. Here's the door latch here. Just let it hang out of the way for now. So now you want to remove the second metal spring clamp. This one's a bit easier. You can just unscrew it. Don't back it all the way off the screw just because you don't have to, and it's easier to put back on. It pops right off. You don't even have to pry it off with anything. And you just pull it out. Now you can take the broken gasket, the leaky gasket out. Just peels right out. Just like that. Now the new gasket goes in. It's got a tab for up and a tab for down. So you want to make sure you have the down going down and the up going up, obviously. And it's just a matter of working it in, making sure the grooves are all the way around. You just want to keep working it, keep working it. If you haven't done this before, it will take a little bit longer than it takes me your first couple times just to figure out how the groove goes. But you see, you want to make sure the back one tucks right down inside there. And then once you got it, just test to make sure everything's snug. And once you've got it set, you can fix the front and then get ready to put your metal clamp back on that you unscrewed. Now when you tighten this screw down, you don't have to go crazy tight, but you want it to be fairly snug. Alright, we're halfway done. Now we got to put the front plate back on. So what I do is I put one screw in the top left corner just to get it started. And once that one plate is on in the corner, what I'll do is I'll take the door latch and I'll put the door latch in place and then screw the door latch back in. And then once the door latch is in, then I will put all the other 3 screws in for the door plate in each corner. It just makes it easier to get your hand in behind there and put it back into place. So just make sure all the 4 screws are in, and now you can just get the final piece of the gasket on the outer door. You just want to work it around just like the other one. This one is a little bit trickier. It's a bit finer groove and it doesn't really want to go in. You got to work it a little bit more. And what I recommend when you're putting the metal clamp around it is that you actually bend one side out. And if you got an extra set of hands, someone can hold the spring while the other person bends it around and gets it in place. Or it'll be a little bit more challenging for one person. You might have to take a pair of needle nose pliers and bend it so it opens up a little bit more. But you got to be careful because these gaskets don't come with a replacement metal clamp. You've got to use the old one. So just a matter of popping the front panel back on. One screw in the bottom and put that torque screw back in. And we are just about done. Put the bottom in and it just pops in. 3 screws. And then we just got to put the top back on. So just like you pulled it off, you put it on, get it flush, and slide it forward, and it pops right in. 3 screws on the back. And that's it. You just changed your first whirlpool door seal. Thanks for watching. Tune in for more how-to videos.